What's up, Vortex Nation? Today we are going to be learning all about the Impact 4000 Ballistic Rail-Mounted Laser Rangefinder, how to set it up and how to use it. Before starting setup, it's important to calibrate, mount, and zero the Impact 4000. We already have ours ready to go. For our detailed instructions, check out our how to calibrate, mount, and zero video, where we take you to the range and walk you through the process. Today, we'll begin by walking through how to set up directly on the Impact. Then we'll walk through how to pair the GeoBallistics app for setup and additional features offered with the app. The Impact 4000 is a completely standalone device. The use of an app is not necessary to set up or utilize the Impact. It provides range, environmentals, and wind inputs to its onboard GeoBallistics solver to provide accurate ballistic solutions customized to your setup. The device comes with 10 preloaded common rifle profiles that can be used as is or customized directly on your device. You can also use the Impact 4000 to build and store up to 10 range cards. To increase the accuracy of your solution, it's possible to customize the Impact 4000 to your specific setup. Let's begin with the setup menu. To open the setup menu, press the measure button to power on the unit. Then, press the settings button to open the main menu. Navigation is accomplished by using the up, down, left, right, and measure buttons, making it intuitive to quickly navigate through the menu items. First up is range and target modes. The Impact 4000 is factory set to angle compensating HCD range mode and normal target mode. To edit, select range mode. You can choose between HCD, horizontal component distance, LOS, line of sight, or BAL, ballistics mode. HCD provides angle compensating distance and is the primary mode when not utilizing the onboard solver. LOS provides line of sight distance and inclination angle and is best utilized for shooters who are using ballistic drop data cards, ballistic cell phone applications, or other ballistic programs. We are going to select ballistics mode. Ballistics mode utilizes the onboard GeoBallistics solver to calculate in-display wind drop solutions. Next, we are going to select our target mode. The Impact 4000 comes preset to normal mode, which provides the target's range with the strongest range result and is great for most situations. ELR mode is also available for ranging smaller, less reflective targets at extended distances. We're going to select normal. Press the left arrow button to return to the setup screen. Next up is profile selection. The Impact 4000 comes with 10 common default ballistic profiles. The profiles can be used as is or customized to reflect your specific rifle and bullet combination. The default profiles include the .308 Winchester, the 6.5 Creedmoor, the .223 or 5.56, 30-06, 300 Winchester Magnum, .270 Winchester, 7mm Remington Magnum, .243 Winchester, 22-250 Remington, and the .22 Long Rifle. On the setup menu screen, toggle to and select profile. You can choose between the 10 ballistic profiles. The selected profile will be designated with an arrow. To edit a profile, ensure it is designated with the arrow and then select it. You are able to customize the bullet information, rifle information, or rename the profile. Today we're shooting a .308, so we'll select .308 Winchester. To edit the bullet information, use the up and down arrows to toggle to and select bullet. To edit a field, when highlighted, press the right arrow button to select the data and use the up and down arrows to modify the data. For now, we'll utilize the default profile. Press the left arrow button to return to the field list. Return to the previous screen to continue to the rifle information. To edit the rifle information, toggle to and select rifle. To edit a field, when highlighted, press the right arrow button to select the data and use the up and down arrows to modify the data. For now, we'll utilize the default profile. Press the left arrow button to return to the field list. Press the left arrow button again to return to the profile screen. To rename the ballistic profile, toggle to and select rename. Use the left and right arrow buttons to select which character to change and the up and down arrow buttons to toggle through the keyboard options. We'll leave our name as is for now. Select the left arrow button to return to the setup screen. The Impact 4000 has the capability to store 10 range cards. Within each range card, 10 targets can be stored. To build a range card, navigate to and select Range Card on the Setup menu. On the Range Card screen, select On to turn on the Range Card feature. To select which range card you'd like to edit, toggle to and select Card Manager. Select which card you'd like to edit. To rename the range card, press the right arrow button and select Rename. Use the left and right arrow buttons to select which character to change and the up and down arrow buttons to toggle through the keyboard options. After renaming the range card, press the Settings button to exit the menu and return to the Range Ready screen. To build a range card, line up your rifle scope to your target and press the Measure button to range. The measured range will show up as A. You can change this range until you are satisfied with the distance by pressing the Measure button to range again, or changing it manually by pressing the right arrow button to select the range and adjust the distance using the up and down arrow buttons. If you are satisfied with your range, move on to the next target by pressing the down arrow button to move to letter B. Continue these steps until all the targets are entered. To save the range card, press the Settings button and select Yes when asked to save changes. The range card will save the target distance, inclination, and direction. If you update your wind or weather parameters, your range card ballistic solutions will automatically update accordingly. To turn off the range card, press the Settings button to return to the main menu. Toggle to and select Range Card, and toggle to and select Off. After your device is set up, you can adjust your settings to your liking. The Impact 4000 is factory set to brightness level 3, standard units, auto shut-off set to 3 minutes, and the visible laser set to off. To change your settings, press the Settings button to open the main menu. Navigate to and select Settings to open the Settings menu. In the Settings menu, you can access backlight, compass, units, auto shutoff, and visible laser settings. This menu is also where you can reset your device to factory settings. Within the backlight screen, you can adjust the brightness settings of your Impact 4000 screen's backlight. To turn on the backlight, press the backlight button under the screen. Within the settings menu, the compass screen is where you would go to calibrate the Impact 4000. Full step-by-step instructions on that process are included in our How to Calibrate, Mount, and Zero video. Next is the unit selection screen. In this screen, you can choose between standard or metric units. This will set all applicable rifle scope units, weather units, and distance units to that unit of measure. To customize each unit individually, navigate to and select Custom. Press the right arrow button to open the custom screen, where you can edit rifle scope units, weather units, and distance units independently. Press the left arrow button to return to the settings menu. Select Auto Shutoff to choose between 1 minute or 3 minute auto shutoff time. It is also possible to turn off the auto shutoff feature. Once you've made your desired selection, return to the settings menu. The next option is the visible laser. Clicking into this screen will allow you to turn on or off the visible laser. The use of the visible laser is only permitted for zeroing. No range or ballistic solutions can be calculated while the visible laser is on. There is also an external visible laser switch that must be enabled with the use of a T10 Torx wrench. Turning the visible laser setting to off externally and within the settings menu will re-enable ranging functions of the device. Visit our How to Calibrate, Mount, and Zero video for full zeroing instructions. The last option in the settings menu is Reset. The Reset screen can be used to restore the Impact 4000 to factory settings. Select Erase All Data and Restore to reset the device. Selecting this will clear your range cards, weapons profiles, and all other selections made. If you wish to save a copy of your range cards and profiles prior to performing this step, make sure to sync your device with the GeoBallistics app. The Impact 4000 can connect with the GeoBallistics app for quick customization and to the included Bluetooth remote for easy adjustments without leaving the shooting position via the Vortex Relay network. To manage connected devices, press Settings, navigate to, and select Connected Devices from the main menu. Within the Connected Devices menu, the first option is the device screen. This screen allows you to view, add, or remove devices, as well as connect your Bluetooth remote to the devices you'd like for it to control. On the view screen, you can view which devices are currently connected via the Vortex Relay network. To show up on the network, the devices must be previously added and turned on. A network is a group of devices and mobile applications that communicate with each other. Devices can only be connected to one network at a time. When you select a device, you can see the latest firmware and software information by pressing the right arrow button. Press the left arrow button to back out to the device's screen. The Add screen is where you can add devices to your network. The Impact 4000 will automatically find all compatible Vortex Relay Network devices that are turned on and within Bluetooth range, and are not already connected to another network. Select the device from the list that you wish to add. When the new device joins the network, if the profile or range cards are different, you will be asked on both devices which device's information should be used. Repeat to add any additional devices. On the Range Ready screen, the Bluetooth icon will change to a number to indicate how many devices are on the network. A 1 indicates the Impact 4000 is the only device on the network. A 3 would indicate that 2 other devices are on the network with the Impact 4000. You can remove your Impact 4000 from your network. You would need to do this if you would like to add your device to someone else's network, or if you sell or lend your Impact 4000 to someone else. Select your remote and then select which device you'd like to connect your remote to. Connected devices will be denoted with an arrow. The blinking lights on the remote are a quick indication of the status of your remote connection. When the Bluetooth remote blinks red, it is not on a network. When it blinks orange, it is on a network, but not connected to any other device. When it blinks green, it is on the network and communicating with another device on the network. To manually disconnect the Bluetooth remote from the Impact 4000, but keep it on the network, press and hold the remote's left arrow button and right arrow button together for 3 seconds. The Bluetooth remote can also be disconnected from the network manually by pressing and holding the remote's up arrow button and down arrow button together for 3 seconds. Select Ballistics on the Connected Devices menu and select which device's onboard solver you'd like to provide ballistics. The selected device will be denoted with an arrow. Select Wind on the Connected Devices menu and select which device you'd like to provide wind information. The selected device will be denoted with an arrow. Weather and wind can be sourced from the Impact 4000 onboard environmental sensors. Manually input the Impact 4000. Weather and wind can be sourced from the Impact 4000 onboard environmental sensors, manually input via the Impact 4000, or from the GeoBallistics app. The GeoBallistics app can source weather and wind from local weather stations or third-party weather meters. Now that we have the Impact 4000 set up, settings, and connected devices in order, the last thing we need to confirm is wind and weather inputs to ensure accurate solution. The Impact 4000 comes with onboard environmental sensors to capture direction, temperature, inclination angle, pressure, and humidity. Access wind, weather, and wind and target direction screens by pressing the wind bearing capture button and using the measure button to toggle through screens. The first screen you'll see is the wind screen. The Impact 4000 uses the patented wind bearing capture to manually input wind speed and direction. The Impact will keep track of wind direction regardless of the direction the user is facing. To manually adjust wind speed, press the up arrow button to increase the wind speed or the down arrow button to decrease the wind speed. We'll set ours to 10 miles per hour. To manually change the wind direction, press the left arrow button to move the wind direction indicator counterclockwise, or press the right arrow button to move the wind direction indicator clockwise. The wind indicator moves in 15-degree increments. Orient the wind direction indicator to represent the direction the wind is coming from. If you change the way the impact is facing, the indicator will update accordingly. We'll set ours to wind blowing from 9 o'clock position. Pressing the measure button will open the weather screen. On this screen, the temperature, pressure, humidity, and calculated density altitude are displayed. These variables can be measured by the onboard environmental sensors or entered manually. They can also be provided by the GeoBallistics app. When provided by the app, these values are not adjustable via the Impact 4000. Use the up and down arrows to toggle between internal sensors and manual. When in manual, you can manually change the weather information by pressing the right arrow button to toggle to the desired variable. Press the up arrow button to increase or down arrow button to decrease the values. We'll set temperature to 55 degrees Fahrenheit, pressure to 28.9 inches of mercury, and humidity to 40%. Hitting the measure button once more will open the wind and target direction screen. This screen displays both the direction of the target from the shooter along with the direction of the wind in degrees. This screen also lists the sources of each of these data points. A target due north of the shooter is displayed as 0 degrees. Wind blowing from east to west will display as 90 degrees. Press the wind bearing capture button to exit and return to the range ready screen. Once the Impact 4000 is set to your rifle setup and preferences with wind and weather captured, it is ready to shoot. To range, align your rifle scope crosshair on your desired target and hit the measure button on the Impact 4000 or on the Bluetooth remote. A custom wind drop solution will be displayed on the Impact 4000 screen. The direction you dial is signified on the left side of the display by a U up or D down for elevation, either an L left or R right for windage. Simply dial or hold for the correction. The Impact 4000 pairs with the GeoBallistics app. The app provides an easy interface for building rifle profiles, adjusting settings, building range cards, and managing connected devices. In addition, the app offers some additional features, including ballistic charts, a map feature, and the ability to pull wind and weather from local weather stations or third-party weather meters. You can download it for free from your device's app store. Once downloaded, open the GeoBallistics app. To pair your Impact 4000 with your mobile device, ensure the Bluetooth on your mobile device is turned on and the GeoBallistics app has been allowed access to your mobile device's location services. Next, power on your Impact 4000 by pressing the measure button. Open the GeoBallistics app and select the Bluetooth symbol in the lower right-hand corner of the screen. Select the Impact 4000 by pressing the ellipsis. You should be prompted with an Impact 4000 pop-up. Click Connect. If you are not prompted, press the plus sign icon next to the Impact 4000. Tap on your Impact 4000 referencing the last 4 digits of your serial number on the bottom of your Impact. Your Impact 4000 and the GeoBallistics app are now connected. You should see a Bluetooth symbol next to the Impact 4000 on the GeoBallistics app. The next step is to pair your Bluetooth remote. First, power on your Bluetooth remote. Next, select the Bluetooth symbol in the lower right-hand corner of the GeoBallistics app. Select the ellipsis next to the Impact 4000. You should be prompted with a Bluetooth remote pop-up. Click Connect. If not prompted, make sure your remote is on and then press the plus sign icon next to the Bluetooth remote. Tap on your Bluetooth remote from the list, referencing the last 4 digits of the serial number on the bottom of your remote. This will connect the unit to the GeoBallistics app. You will then be prompted to select which device you'd like to connect the remote to. Select Impact 4000. The Bluetooth remote is now paired to the Impact 4000. You should now see a Bluetooth symbol next to the Bluetooth remote and an image of Impact next to the Bluetooth remote. Now that your devices are paired to the GeoBallistics app, you can customize where your ballistics, wind, and weather information are coming from. To do so, select the ballistics icon next to the device you'd like to calculate your ballistic solution. Select the weather icon next to the device you'd like to provide your weather information, and the wind icon next to the device you'd like to provide your wind information. We are going to choose the Impact 4000 as our primary source for ballistics, weather, and wind data. To establish a priority as to which devices provide which information, select the ballistic source, weather source, and wind source icons at the top of the page. Within each screen, you can hold and drag the devices into your desired order. This priority would come into effect if one of your devices was not present or not connected to the network. We are going to keep the Impact 4000 as the primary source for each of these inputs, with the GeoBallistics app as our secondary source. To access the Impact 4000 settings menu from the app, click the ellipsis next to the Impact 4000 from the Network Management screen. On the settings screen, you can disconnect your Impact 4000 from the GeoBallistics app, check your battery level, see calibration steps, or update to the latest firmware version. To disconnect your Impact 4000 from the app, select the trash can icon. In the compass section, you can view the calibration sequence. The app will walk you through the compass calibration with a step-by-step video of the required motions. Lastly, if any firmware updates are available, they will be listed under Firmware. Select Update to update to the latest version. Now that your Impact 4000 is paired, it is time to customize your GeoBallistics app with your preferences via the App Settings menu. Select the Settings icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen. While in the App Settings menu, you can change app preferences, ballistic preferences, mobile sensors, chart increments, distance units, rifle profile units, and weather units. At the top of the App Settings page, you'll see HUD, Chart, Map, and Comp. By selecting one of these options, that page will be the default home screen when opening the app. Under the App Preferences section, you can choose whether to utilize Auto Locate, which will use your mobile device's latitudes for ballistic calculations. If you choose not to use your device's auto locate, you can also manually enter latitude. This section also allows you to set how many decimal places you'd like the app solution to display. You can also adjust whether you'd like to account for spin drift, Coriolis effect, or crosswind jump in your ballistic solution by toggling them on or off in the Ballistic Preferences section. For the utmost accuracy, we recommend toggling these on. These are always on within the Impact 4000's onboard solver. Within the Mobile Sensors section of the App Settings menu, you can toggle on or off angle and compass to denote if you'd like to use your mobile device's compass and inclinometer when you're not using the GeoBallistics app with the Impact 4000. In the Chart Increments section, you can select what distance increments you'd like for the chart to be laid out in. For example, you can see solutions for every 5, 10, 25, 50, or 100 yards or meters. Within the distance units, you can select if you'd like distance displayed in meters or yards. When connected to the Impact, the distance option selected will be displayed in both the app and in the rangefinder. Finally, you can set your preferences for your weather units. Choose between millibars, MB, or inches of mercury, INHG, for pressure, Celsius or Fahrenheit for temperature, meters or feet for density altitude, and meters per second or miles per hour for wind speed. Once you have customized the app settings to your preferences, select the back arrow in the upper left-hand corner of the screen to return to the home screen. Now that your Impact 4000 and app settings are ready to go, it's time to select your rifle profile. You can store 10 profiles on the Impact 4000 at one time. These profiles can be set up in the Impact Setup menu or via the GeoBallistics app. The default profiles include .308 Winchester, 6.5 Creedmoor, .223 or 5.56, 30-06, 300 Winchester Magnum, .270 Winchester, 7mm Remington Magnum, .243 Winchester, .22 250 Remington, and the .22 long rifle. After connecting the Impact 4000 to your app, the profiles will automatically sync between the Impact 4000 and your app. The app and the Impact will automatically be synced anytime changes are made to the ballistic profiles and are saved. To view the profiles currently synced between your app and the Impact 4000, navigate to the rifles page by selecting the reticle icon on the lower left corner of the main screen. The currently synced profiles will be annotated with A through J before their names in the Impact 4000 Rifles folder. Since we are shooting a .308, we are going to keep Profile A selected. At this point, we can move forward with the default profile and move on to our wind and weather inputs. However, today we are going to build a custom profile. Custom profiles allow you to harness the total power of the GeoBallistics solver and fine-tune your corrections for maximum effectiveness in the field. We'll be building a new profile for our custom 308 built for competition shooting. To create a custom ballistic profile, select the reticle icon from the home screen. Select the plus rifle icon on the rifle screen. Select the folder that you wish to add the profile to. We're saving ours to the My Rifles folder. First, name the profile. Ours will be named 308 Comp. Next, you will need to enter your bullet data. We are shooting Hornady ELD Match 168 grain bullets. You can choose to search the bullet library by selecting the search icon. To search, select your ammunition's caliber. Ours is 308 Winchester, and bullet weight from the list, ours is 168 grain. Then, select the exact bullet you are using. This information can be found on your ammunition's box. The list is in alphabetical order. We will scroll down and select the Hornady ELD Match Multi-BC. One thing to note with the specific bullet profile, as well as others denoted as Multi-BC, instead of one ballistic coefficient, there are 3 ballistic coefficients that are paired with multiple velocity ranges. Using multiple ballistic coefficients is a more advanced method of calculating your ballistic solution. If the bullet profile you have selected uses multiple ballistic coefficients, you can still manually enter a single ballistic coefficient. To manually add bullet data, click the edit icon. Then enter your bullet's caliber, weight in grains, length, and ballistic coefficient. You must then enter your bullet's drag function. This information may be printed on the bullet's box or on the manufacturer's website. In general, G1 is better for flat-based bullets typically used with pistols and muzzle loaders. G7 is more common and better for longer, boat-tailed bullets commonly used for center-fire cartridges. You must also enter what meteorological conditions, or METRO, describes the standard set of atmospheric conditions used to calculate the ballistic coefficient of a projectile, Army or ICAO. This information can be found on the manufacturer's website or by selecting a bullet from the bullet library from that manufacturer to see what standard they use. The difference between the two is very slight, but selecting the correct standard will yield slightly improved ballistic solutions at long ranges. Once you have your bullet data selected or entered, you will need to provide your rifle information. First, you need to enter sight height. This is measured from the center of the rifle's bore to the center of your rifle scope. Ours measures 2 inches. Next, input the zero range, which is the distance at which you have zeroed your rifle. This rifle is zeroed at 100 yards, so we'll enter 100. You can enter an elevation offset, which is the vertical offset from the point of aim at your zero distance. For example, if you enter 100 yards for your zero range, and at 100 yards your point of impact is 1 inch high, enter 1 here. If it's 1 inch low, enter -1 here. For the windage offset, enter the horizontal offset from the point of aim at your zero distance. For example, if you enter 100 yards as your zero range, and at 100 yards your point of impact is 1 inch right, enter 1 here. If it's 1 inch left, enter -1 here. If your point of aim is dead on both vertically and horizontally at your zero distance, leave these values at 0. We will leave this at 0 for our setup. Next, enter your barrel twist rate, which is the distance covered for each revolution of the bullet within the barrel. For example, our barrel is denoted as 1 in 10. This means the bullet will complete 1 full rotation every 10 inches, and we will enter 10 for this value. If your barrel has a left-handed twist rate, denote the value with a minus sign before the value. You must next enter your muzzle velocity. Muzzle velocity is the projectile speed as it leaves the muzzle. You can find this information on the box for most ammunition or on the manufacturer's website. For an even more accurate solution, we highly recommend that you use a chronograph to verify this information. We used a chronograph to measure our muzzle velocity at 2,680 feet per second. An optional entry is muzzle velocity temperature. When turned on, this allows you to add recorded muzzle velocities as it correlates to the ambient temperature at the time of the shot. This can be important in fine-tuning your ballistic solution. If you toggle this on, muzzle velocity will be disabled in the field above. The use of a chronograph is required to record this information. At least two temperatures and corresponding muzzle velocities at least 10 degrees apart are recommended. We are going to leave this option off. Next, you must enter your optic information. First, to note your solution units, MRAD, MOA, or inches. This angular measurement will be denoted on the turrets of your rifle scope. Our optic is the Razor HD Gen 3 6-36 by 56, and our turrets and reticle are MRAD. So we'll select MRAD. The next field is elevation sight scale factor. This is used to account for any inconsistencies in elevation turret tracking. Default is set at 1, meaning there is no tracking inconsistency. SSF is calculated by taking the elevation dialed divided by the actual point of impact change. For example, if 20 MOA is dialed, but the point of impact change is 19 MOA, the correction factor is 20 divided by 19, equaling 1.052. Windage sight scale factor is calculated the same way, but would be utilized if the windage turret was not tracking correctly. As we're using a Vortex rifle scope, we don't need to worry about tracking issues, and we'll leave these values at 1. The next fields are the GeoBallistic overlays, and they are completely optional, but a great tool to utilize in hunting scenarios to ensure you're making an ethical shot. The first section is vital size. This is an estimated size of the vital area of your target. The ballistic solver will take the value into account when calculating and displaying your ballistic solution in the GeoBallistics app. If the point of aim is in the middle of the vital area, the GeoBallistic app will show the range at which your bullet drop will be outside of the vital area. This overlay will be denoted in black on the ballistic chart. The next overlay is energy threshold. This is the desired bullet energy at impact to perform an ethical shot. The ballistic solver will take this into account when calculating the solution on the GeoBallistics app. This is denoted by a red overlay on the ballistics chart. The final overlay is velocity threshold. This is the desired velocity at impact to perform an ethical shot. The ballistic solver will take this into account when calculating the solution on the GeoBallistics app and denote this range in yellow on the ballistics chart. As these are not needed for our current application, we will leave these fields blank. Lastly, you can enter a muzzle velocity correction. This can be used to fine-tune the ballistic solver by calculating a hypothetical muzzle velocity based on your rifle scope, and ammunition. You can input a truing range and elevation, which is the shot distance and elevation correction where the point of aim was observed equal to the point of impact. By clicking Apply, the calculated muzzle velocity will then replace the muzzle velocity in the rifle profile. This process is essentially replacing predicted muzzle velocity with an observed muzzle velocity that was built from your personal equipment. Generally, the further the truing range, the more accurate the results will be. We currently don't have any corrections, so we'll leave this section blank for now. Once you have entered your information, the profile will automatically be saved to the folder you selected. You can back out of the setup screen by hitting the back arrow at the top left-hand corner of the screen. You should see your newly created profile in the drop-down list of the folder in which you saved it. Ours is saved in the My Rifles folder. To edit the profile at any time, click the ellipses to the right of the profile's name and click Edit. You can also copy this profile by pressing the ellipsis and selecting Copy and renaming it to use it as a basis for a new profile for the same setup with slight modifications. To delete a profile, press the ellipsis icon and select Delete. Note, it is required to have a minimum of 10 complete rifle profiles. To ensure you never lose all of your valuable data, we strongly recommend that you create an account within the GeoBallistics app. To do so, click the profile icon in the upper left-hand corner and then select Register. You will need to enter your email address and create a password. Creating an account is not required, but it does allow the app to back up your rifle's profiles and range cards online should something happen to your mobile device. To load the new profile to the Impact 4000, select the sort icon at the top of the rifle screen. Press and drag your profile to the Impact 4000 Rifles folder. The top profile under this folder will be identified as A, the second as B, and the third as C, and so on, within the Impact 4000 Rifles folder. There can only be 10 profiles in this folder at a time. You will need to press and drag one of the preloaded profiles into another folder. Click Save in the upper right-hand corner to save your selections. The profiles will automatically sync with the Impact 4000. One last thing to note is that your custom ballistic profile is a very precise and important piece of data used by the GeoBallistics solver. Minor changes to your firearm can have major implications for the accuracy of corrections you receive from your Impact 4000. If you alter any part of your firearm system after creating a profile for it, for example, adding a suppressor, we recommend copying the profile and creating a second one that factors in the new variables. Now that we've got our custom ballistic profile built, it's time to capture our wind and weather. While the Impact 4000 has an onboard environmental sensors to capture temperature, pressure, and humidity, and utilizes its compass to keep track of wind direction, it is also possible to manually enter wind and weather on the GeoBallistics app, or pull wind and weather data from local weather stations or from third-party weather meters. To utilize the app for wind and weather, select the weather icon at the bottom of the app's main screen to open the atmospherics page. Under the Active Profiles section, you can manually enter wind by pressing the wind direction button while facing into the wind to capture wind bearing. Next, you can input wind speed. Within the weather section, you can manually enter ambient temperature, absolute pressure, and relative humidity. With these inputs, the app will calculate a value for density altitude. Another option with the GeoBallistics app is to connect to a third-party Kestrel or WeatherFlow weather meter. You can do this by selecting the brand of weather meter you have. Then select your device from the drop-down list to connect. Once connected, the data from the weather meter will populate the screen. Pressing the green button will lock in the data measured. You can also utilize an average of data by pressing and holding the green button. To disconnect a weather meter, press the disconnect button. Lastly, you can also pull wind and weather information from a local airport as your weather data source. To do so, tap the arrow button under the online weather section to see a list of the nearest airports. Now that your custom rifle profile is built and wind and weather are captured, it's time to shoot. To range, align your rifle scope crosshair on your desired target and hit the measure button on the Impact 4000 or on the Bluetooth remote. A custom wind drop solution will be displayed on the Impact 4000 screen. The number on the top is your elevation correction and the number on the bottom is your windage correction. The direction you dial is signified on the left side of the display by a U up or D down for elevation and either an L left or R right for windage. Simply dial or hold for the correction and shoot and start making those impacts. While it's not necessary to utilize the GeoBallistics app while using the Impact 4000, there are some helpful screens you can reference while shooting. The first screen you might want to utilize while shooting is the HUD tab. HUD stands for the Heads Up Display. At the top of the screen, you will see your ballistics correction and range. Next to the range are 3 dots that refer to the GeoBallistics overlays you may have set. If the black dot is filled in, you are beyond your max vital range. If the red dot is filled in, you are beyond range of your identified energy threshold. And if the yellow dot is filled in, you are beyond range of your velocity threshold. This is a quick indicator to let you know if you are beyond range to make an ethical shot at an animal based off your specified overlays. Next, you will see which profile you have selected, followed by your wind direction and wind speed. Wind speed can be manually changed from this screen. Below is the Enter Range button. This button can be used to manually enter range from the app and push it to the Impact 4000. Clicking either the left or right arrow next to this button will manually change the range value. You will also see your shot angle and shot direction displayed. Under the target section, you may select the speed and direction of a moving target to add to your ballistic solution. On the bottom of the HUD tab is your ballistic data based off your selected profile. This is a great quick reference screen to utilize while shooting. Another helpful screen is the Chart tab. The Chart tab is a great reference chart of effective ranges and holdovers at different distances. At the top, you will see your shot angle and direction as well as your range. You may manually input this data on this screen to change your ballistic solution. You should see your selected profile in the center of the screen. At the bottom of this tab is a chart that contains ballistic solutions at set range increments. You can change these increments and units from the app settings menu. If you have any GeoBallistics overlays set up, you will see your max vital range denoted with a gray line, energy threshold denoted with a red line, and velocity threshold denoted with a yellow line. These quick references will help ensure you are shooting from an ethical range while hunting. You can export this chart by clicking the export icon and export it to your photos, to your watch, or a CSV file that can be sent via email. This can be a great tool in prepping for the range or for a hunt. The Map tab is a great tool for planning a hunt or building out a range card. Utilizing Google Earth, this tab lets you locate your position by clicking the arrow icon in the top left corner of the screen. While on this tab, you can use the shooter icon to drop a pin to denote your location and the target icon to drop pins for your target's location. While connected to the Impact 4000, you may also utilize the rangefinder to range a target, which will drop a pin on the map representing the target's position. You will be shown on the screen the distance and direction of the target from the shooter's position pin. If you click on the target, you will see the ballistic correction on the bottom of the screen for the target. If the target position is far enough away, any GeoBallistic overlays you have set will appear as a black dashed line for max vital range, a red dashed line for energy threshold, and a yellow dashed line for velocity threshold, as quick reference to see your ethical range while hunting. Once you have dropped all of your targets, you can save your map to your range card folders by clicking the floppy disk save icon. You can also export them as a range card to your comp tab by clicking the export icon. The map view is available in topographical, road, hybrid, or satellite view. You can toggle through these views by pressing the map icon. The map tab is a great tool for planning a hunt or building out a range card. The last tab is the comp tab. The comp tab is a great tool to build and save range cards for your local ranges or for prepping for competitive shooting matches. To add a target to your range card, make sure you have a desired rifle profile selected. Then, range your target with the Impact 4000 or manually enter shot angle, direction, and range. Press the plus target button to save the ballistic solution. You will see the ballistic solution appear at the bottom of the screen. Repeat this process for additional targets. You can modify any of the saved ranges by clicking the edit button and clicking the box next to the target you wish to edit, or select the box next to the select all targets. You may also reorder the target entries by either pressing the up and down arrows or by typing the order number in the space provided. Click Save to save your changes. You can also click Clear to delete all target entry data. Once you have at least one target entry saved, you may wish to modify the holdover setting by clicking the minus or plus buttons. This setting can be used to set the elevation values on the reticle you plan to use as a holdover. For example, if you add a suppressor to a gun that is already zeroed and it changes point of impact by 0.5 mrad in the downward direction, but you do not want to re-zero your optic, you can change the holdover setting to -0.5 to update your drop chart to reflect the change in 0. Once you've created your range card, you can save the data to your range card folders by clicking the Save icon. Range cards saved to the Impact 4000 Range Cards folder will be automatically synced with your Impact 4000. You can also export the data to your photos, watch, email as a CSV, or export it to an eDope by pressing the export icon. To access your saved range cards and maps at any time, click the folder icon at the bottom of the screen. Now that you've got your Impact 4000 and GeoBallistics app customized for your setup, you are ready to call your fastest, most accurate corrections ever. If you have any questions about the Impact 4000, GeoBallistics app, or any of our products, please don't hesitate to reach out in the comments below, on the phone, or any of our social media. We are always here to help.